It's always more fun in hour 2 of Implicit Bias Radio. I'm your host, Kevon Bordelon. At the bar, we have great members of the crew, Eli Tate of Gambino's Bakery in Lafayette and Baton Rouge. We also have with us Brian the Virus Harmon of Dupree Carrier Godshaw Insurance. And of course, in the chair like mine, it's not the Rustic Renegade. He is Mike Trammell. The Renegade actually got a break this week.
Oh, we kind of resemble each other, though, don't we? No? Yeah.
He's got you beat on the beard.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Hey, we both got pretty little wives.
I'm sorry. I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. Yeah. Yes, you do have that, though. You do have that.
I definitely outkicked my coverage.
Yeah, hey, look, I did as well.
But he did, too.
Yep. So outstanding that we have had a great conversation here so far in the first hour and about 17 minutes of the show. We teased that we had a second weekly whiskey. So, Mike, I'm going to let you tell us about this Tennessee Hills small batch whiskey because you brought this to the show, and I'm really appreciative that you did.
Well, I'm appreciative of Scott Andrews. He's actually the founder and chief executive officer. I guess he is the owner of Box Drop.
Okay.
So he actually has a distillery in Bristol, Tennessee, and Jonesboro. I think I'm saying it right. Jonesboro, Tennessee.
Okay.
So he sent this bottle to me. We actually met in Punta Cana. He's really a true redneck. He's a millionaire redneck.
And you mean that as a compliment?
He is very down to earth. He sent this bottle to me. Whenever we reach a certain criteria in sales, they actually call it, and I'm actually wearing the hat tonight. He's big into rugged is his big calling. So I'm actually wearing the Rugged 300 hat tonight. But if you ever want to do any, listen to a Spotify podcast or anything, he has a book on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Rugged Entrepreneur. I definitely recommend checking it out.
So it's really more like an audiobook than a podcast.
Right, audiobook. That's what I meant. But he's a really good book, but he actually has this distillery, and he asked us to try this out tonight and kind of give our ratings on it.
Okay, so here's what I'd like to do. This is a 5-year whiskey, comes in at 90 proof, 45% alcohol by volume, and it is a Tennessee bourbon. So let's start at the bar. Gentlemen, we had a blue in hour 1, and I'm going to be honest, I was kind of concerned about how 90 proof stands up to 105 proof, and the Buzzard's Roost that we had in hour 1 was a tough hurdle. I'm curious as to what you think. Eli, we'll start with you.
Yeah, this one, I know we're not rating this one. I would give this one a green plus. Being born in Tennessee and that's where my roots, I'm kind of a little bit biased towards this.
You were born in Tennessee?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that because you've got the full-on New Orleans accent.
Yeah, I've lived down here a long time. But no, this is, if this is an very easy drinking whiskey, great on the palate. It's not overly sophisticated, so I think anybody could really enjoy this whiskey. I'm enjoying it. I would definitely, bump it up to a blue because I don't know what the price point is, but I would imagine that it's not crazy expensive. And it's a really easy drinking whiskey. I really like there's enough flavor profile to really make it enjoyable.
All right, so we're going to make sure Walker gets a taste of this because we want him to talk about it too. But Brian, I'm curious as to what you think.
Having now, after meeting you guys, I've been at a lot of whiskey tasting, and it's really hard to follow a good whiskey with other whiskey because they just don't hold up. And this is, in all sincerity, the Buzzard Roost was very good. I was impressed. I mean, that's my top praise on the ones I've tasted here. This one following that, I'm with him. I'm giving it a green plus. If it was on its own in the first one, I'd probably give that a blue. It is a good bottle.
Well, and we are doing this probably in the reverse order of which we should have done it. We should have gone with the lower proof first to kind of prep the palate as far as the flavors go. Instead, we did the higher proof first and then went backwards, which usually is a recipe for disaster when you're tasting whiskeys.
No,
this is far from a disaster here. I'm actually really impressed.
Yeah.
The flavor profile on this is, I think, a lot of what you expect with regards to Tennessee bourbon. Mm-hmm. It's got that sweetness. It's got maybe a little bit hint of licorice to it that I'm getting on the palate.
Yeah.
But it's not over licorice flavor, which can sometimes just do me in.
Override.
Yeah, it doesn't overrun everything else. It's got a really nice nose to it. When I first poured it and I got a good whiff of it, I was like, man, this actually really surprised me because it is a full flavor. It's a little oily, which I like, which means the finish is long, so it stays with you for a while. And it just makes you want more. Mike?
I really like it. I'm kind of like you. I was impressed whenever I kind of, as you said earlier, nose humped it, which still very concerned about that term. I think an easy word for this one is clean. It's just
Agreed.
It's just smooth, clean, very good. I'm very impressed. It's
Kevon said it. I think you said easy drinker, and
easy.
it really is.
easy.
I'm going to give this really high praise. Now, I don't know what the price point here is on a 5-year bourbon. 1 out of Tennessee at that. This to me, when I sipped it, I got the flavor profile and I thought in the way that it drinks, the flavors are different, but it reminded me a lot of drinking like a Buffalo Trace, a lower proof, nice caramel, really easy drinker, almost to the point where you're like, this is alcohol. And a Buffalo Trace a lot of times is going to come in at an 80 to an 86 proof. This comes in at 90. So you get a little more proof. So you get a little more flavor. This is small batch, which I love. I'm not going to say shocked at how good it is, just highly impressed at the quality of this drink. Because Mike, as you said, it is clean. It is flavorful. It doesn't run you over with aggression, but it also doesn't completely back away from the flavor profile.
I really like the sweetness. It's just, I mean, it's really good to me. I'm not a big high proof guy. You probably already know that. You've made fun of me several times, but
And we still will.
yeah. But I mean, my glass is empty. So
Hey, they've converted me, so there's always
okay.
All right. So Walker, I'm curious as to what you think about this when we actually got you taste. I realized that you didn't have a pour of this. So what do you think of this Tennessee Hills?
I do get like the smooth, clean. I think it's very refreshing, like a refreshing taste.
Agreed. You could almost make this a very easy summer bourbon because it's not overpowering. It's not heavy. It is light yet flavorful all at the same time, which I think is a really delicate balance. So kudos, because this is really good.
Did y'all say it is a small batch? Is that
It
right?
is a small
Okay.
batch.
All right.
now we have a problem. Scott has to send us another autographed bottle.
Well, so
yeah,
I've actually got to look at this because I'm really curious as to what this would cost.
I have my suspicions, and I'm if I'm correct, that's one I'd like to keep on the bar when you don't want something super special and you're not looking for the mixing whiskey. You just want an easy drinker in the afternoon. This is one I would like to keep.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, like I said, the easy word for me is it's clean. Like it's just very good.
So let me see if I can find at least an online price on this. And I'm actually looking for a bottle. This is very difficult to find. This is basically unobtainium.
Oh, and we opened an autograph bottle. Thank you,
Yeah.
Mike. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, look,
That's how much.
this
That's how much I love
Okay,
y'all.
so Kevon,
you
I
found
think-
it?
Well, they relabeled it. So Tennessee Hills, their label was S.E. Callahan.
Yep.
And this is their new label. So
Okay.
if you look it up, and Total Wine it's $45.99.
Yeah, see.
So the reason it's just a different label.
This
Yeah, the
is
signature is Stephen
they-
Callahan.
they just rebranded or redid the label.
so this one at $43.99, $45.99. This is an absolute steal at $45.99 because you've got great flavor to it. You've got wonderful notes. It drinks very easily. You can keep it on the bar. You can make a cocktail out of it. It will drink very easily there. It's not overpriced. It's not unobtainium. It is easy to find. So first of all, Eli, thank you for the sleuth work there to help us find the new label here because that's impressive.
I thought he was being rude, looking on his phone, playing on his phone.
No, I had a feeling of what he was doing because 3 or 4 of us were like, all right, we gotta research this, except for Walker, who we know is like watching a basketball game or something.
He's completely hungover.
I was watching a basketball game earlier.
Well,
That's what we thought.
he doesn't have to bake a million king cakes right now.
No,
either,
he
so
does
He's got a
not.
lot of time on his hands. so.
He is still trying to recover from Mardi Gras and all the damage that has done to his liver over the last few days and weeks. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to end this segment. We're going to come back because we got plenty of more problems of the world that need to be solved. Because when people tell you who they are, you need to believe them. We've got more of that coming your way on this week's episode of Implicit Bias Radio.